Hey guys, what's going on? It's your big bro Nate, and today's video is going to be about quitting, giving up, what those two mean, and when it's okay to do one of those two. Okay, very controversial video. Just made a video about turning failure into fuel, and if you guys haven't seen that, I highly recommend checking it out. I think it's going to be very encouraging to you, but on the flip side of that, the reality is sometimes you do have to quit or you have to give up certain things in life. Okay, you have to stop while you're ahead, so to speak. And so, how do you do that? What do you do about it? When is a good time for it? So, guys, just want to hop in. Before we do, go ahead and drop a like, go ahead and subscribe to see more of this content. And if you have any experiences yourself, feel free to comment below. But when do you quit? When do you give up? Why are those things not always bad? Okay, so let's talk about quitting first. All right, quitting. Okay, quitting is a very negative term, especially in today's society. Okay, quitting has the connotation to it that you are basically, for lack of a better example, you are throwing the towel. You're saying, I'm done. I'm a loser. I just don't want to do it anymore. Quitting is just there's such a bad tone to the word. Most people are afraid of quitting anything. Um, Guys, I want to tell you that sometimes it's okay to quit certain things. It's okay to step away. It's okay to stop. Okay, and this is going to tie into giving up. All right, because they're interchangeable terms, but there's more to it. So when you quit something, guys, quitting doesn't mean you throw in the towel on life. Quitting doesn't mean that you're done doing anything in life. It doesn't mean you give up your purpose. It doesn't mean that you give up your drive. It doesn't mean that you're just done. That's it. That's all there's going to be. Okay. Quitting something that's not good for you, quitting something that's not a good fit for you, quitting something that's not propelling you forward, quitting something that is holding you back, all right? Those are good things to quit, okay? For instance, a really good example of this, think of all the people in life who have done great things, okay? One of the things that's highly overlooked, you look at a lot of these people, I'm just gonna use Elon Musk as an example. You could use other people, Steve Jobs, right? You can look at these like mega successful people, and they did not start out doing what they were doing. Like they weren't born, like Elon Musk wasn't born creating the Tesla company, right? Steve Jobs wasn't born creating Apple and its products, okay? These people, they were born, yes, with a certain mindset, but they tried a lot of different things throughout their life. They tried things, failed, just like everybody else in life, okay? A lot of these people did a lot of the same things that we did. They worked, you know, everyday jobs like we worked. They might or might not have gone to college. I know, at least from what I understand, I don't think Steve Jobs went to college. I could be wrong on that. There's a couple people who are super big, who were super successful, who didn't go to college, right? And so a lot of people get stuck in this mindset like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. Guys, I'm going to be real with you. There's some people who should quit college. There's some people who should quit certain jobs that they're in because it's not a good fit for them. It's not a good fit for you, right? Like, there's people who they went to college for the first semester, maybe year, and they found out very quickly that they just hated everything about college, right? Not just man, this is kind of hard. Yeah, you know, some of these classes are difficult. No, like they hated everything about it. They hated the environment. They hated the structure. They hated the homework. They hated even the peers, the people that they're around, right? That's not necessarily a bad thing. You, honestly, if you're real with yourself, it's better that you find out then than waste a bunch of time and money doing something that you absolutely despise, okay? Those same people who hated college went on to create their own companies. They went on to be, you know, an incredible mechanic or tradesman or entertainment world, right? They found their niche, they found their calling, they found their purpose, they found what they were gifted and blessed with, right? It's so easy to get caught up in, I have to do this, like I have to work this job because, it pays the bills, because it pays a lot of money, because it's the best job I've ever had, because it has opportunity, so to speak, right? That doesn't mean jack, guys. Like, if you do not enjoy it, if you are, if you feel like you are pulling your teeth, and you could be decently good at it too. I'm not saying you have to be completely just opposed to it, completely just, you don't know what you're doing. You can be decently good at something, guys, and realize that's just not a good fit for you. A really good example of this is, and this goes back to your purpose, but guys, don't sell yourself for what you're doing, okay? Don't sell your morals, your ethics, your principles. Don't sell that stuff just to be successful at what you're doing. There's a difference between sacrificing, some comforts and pleasures over sacrificing your morals and how you live your life, because you can't get those things back, guys. Very, 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 very difficult to get back your reputation and to get back your principles and your morals. Once you start to twist those and throw them by the wayside, guys, the only way that I know that you can get those back is by, asking God for a complete life makeover and really submitting to his ways. That's the only way. But it's very, very, very hard to come back from just throwing everything away. So, quitting, guys, if you really feel like you need to quit something, once it comes down to it, like once you've ran all the numbers, of course, if you have a family, this is a little bit different. You got to be smart because you have people who depend on you for provision. If you're a single dude, it's a little bit easier, but you have to weigh the pros and the cons, guys. You have to, don't let your emotions cloud you. But realize, like, there's going to be some give and take. You're probably going to be strapped for a little bit if you quit, right? You're probably going to be living at a bare minimum threshold, okay? But you need to have a plan. And I have a video on purpose. One of the best things to do if you don't have something you can immediately jump into, because a lot of people, they have something lined up, which is, smart. But the thing is, sometimes, depending on where you are in life, sometimes you just might have to, like, quit. Like, if it's just a bad situation for you, you have to quit. Take some time for yourself, invest into yourself as much as you can, get alone with yourself, be comfortable with yourself, find out what you were made for, right? Again, depending on if you're spiritual or not, I highly recommend that you pray, you read the Word of God, you really, see what that has to say. Helps a lot of people, even if people aren't, followers of Jesus. A lot of people have found a lot of wisdom just reading Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, even Psalm. So definitely, read the scripture, pray. But guys, I would say that, don't be so down on yourself if something doesn't work out. Don't be so depressed that you don't make your first or second or third or even 10th, job, your 20, 30-year career, right? Sometimes it takes trial and error. Now let's segue this into giving something up, okay? So giving something up is a little bit nicer, all right? Nicer way of saying quit. Now they both pretty much mean the same thing, but I like to think giving something up or putting something down, right, puts things into a little bit better of a perspective, okay? I prefer the term giving something up. Giving something up means that, yes, there could have been some pros, there could have been some cons, right? There's always going to be those. Giving something up when the trade-off is your peace of mind to find your purpose, to level up as an individual, to, give yourself a break if needed, right? That's a thing too. You can burn yourself out. There's some terms out there. There's some videos you could look up. I highly recommend. Basically, like systemic overload, parasympathetic overload, and things like that. If you dealt with a lot of high stress for a majority of your life, most people eventually usually it hits in their 20s, mid to late 20s, 30s, 40s. They end up hitting this wall and they have a lot of health issues. They have to take off for work. They can't work for a long period of time because their brain and their body and their nervous system is completely fried, and they've realized that their substance use, their, well, sometimes even their physical ailments, a lot of things that they've been suffering through but just pushing through most of their life relates to that, and your body has to take a break. So giving something up, guys, especially if the pros aren't outweighing the cons, is actually a net plus. It's a net positive. So you're actually gaining something from giving something up. All right, it's like releasing an unnecessary burden. All right, sometimes you got to free up your burden. You might think what you're carrying is valuable. You might think what you have with you is beneficial, but then you get rid of the weight and you're like, actually, that was just holding me back the whole time. It wasn't worth the extra energy. It wasn't worth the expenditure, right? So that's when you know. That's when you know. When you run those numbers, when you think about it, when you pray about it, when you seek wisdom if possible, if you got trusted people in your life, run it by them. I truly believe if you're in tune with God and you're in tune, you pray that He'll reveal your answers. He sometimes does that through people, sometimes through His word, sometimes both. Just depends, right? But you have to realize that sometimes quitting something and giving something up is actually a net positive. Just like when we say quitting a bad habit, right? We don't say, like, when we think of quitting, like, excessively drinking or quitting smoking, right? We don't look at those things as like, oh, well, that's dumb. Like, there's a lot to lose from quitting smoke. No, there's not. If anything, there's a lot to gain. So quitting something, again, that is going to give you an overall net positive, guys. It's going to be so much more invaluable, okay? So much more invaluable than just trekking through, than pushing through. Because do you want to live a miserable life because you can't say no? Do you want to live a depressing, purposeless life because you can't say no, because you can't stand up for yourself, because you can't stand up for what you believe in, for what you are passionate about? It's a really meaningless way to live, guys, and a lot of people are doing it, and I think that's why a lot of people are just unhappy with life. You have a lot of people who are just depressed, who are just walking through life. They don't know what they're doing because, there's a lot of reasons, but these are full-grown adults, guys, who just feel like they have to do something a certain way because so-and-so said that they should. Someone else is telling you how to live your life, right? And some people, guys, again, you can learn from people. I'm hoping that these videos are helpful. I'm hoping that this inspires you, that this guides you, that this gives you a little bit of wisdom. I hope it's not just me talking. Like, I really hope in a lot of ways that God is speaking through me and speaking through to people's hearts and their minds. Because, guys, there's just so many people out there who, they're listening to the wrong people, or they're listening to people who don't have their best interest in mind, or whose facts and ideas are completely outdated, and they lead these people astray, right? And they're just like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. This is what I was told. Or sometimes people have a lack of, accountability. They don't have anybody they can talk to. And so again, if you guys need anything, again, leave me a comment. I'm not the wisest guy on planet Earth, but I've been through a lot, experienced a lot with people, jobs, experiences, places, you name it. All right, like personal things, like I've been there. Okay, so again, if you guys need anything, let me know. But I hope you find this video helpful. Drop a like, subscribe, drop a comment below, guys, and we'll be back at you with the next one.